up alive, well, you know, you didn't do it. They can't accuse you of it again. That was what the whole movie Double Jeopardy was all about. Really good theory. Now, nor be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. That's the fifth that everybody remembers. But it also says, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. They can't take all your stuff away from you and say, okay, we're going to take you to court. How are you going to defend yourself? You have to have due process of law. What? Admiralty jurisdiction?
They do this with administrative law all the time.
That's right. It's all administrative law. It's statutes. It's under the UCC. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. A lot of people go into court and they say, Your Honor, I've got my constitutional rights. And the judge says, don't let me hear you talk about the Constitution again. What's the matter? I thought this was the United States. No, not the United States that you're thinking of. Sorry. You lose. Because you didn't know the game. You're standing on a baseball diamond going, touchdown. They go, we don't know what you're talking about. They've pulled a fast switch on you. You've got to learn the law. You've got to know your rights, and you've got to know where you stand. And your citizenship is a lot to do with where you stand. Finally, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Great. Who gets to decide what's just?
They do.
Jury.
Maybe a jury. That might help. But they can't just come in because the freeway's coming through and take your farm.
We're going to find that out every day.
Well, I'm about to find out.
I'd like to keep it.
This happened during the Revolutionary War. They came and took votes from private citizens
Yeah.
to be used to move the army across, and so the citizens were saying, we don't want this to happen again.
Right.
Let's be compensated for that.
Right. Okay? It's all based on property. Private property.
So who does decide what's just?
What's that?
Who does decide what's just?
Well, the Constitution doesn't specify, does it? So it's kind of like a little loophole. Wait till we get to the Eighth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. Why is a public trial important?
Star chambers.
Yeah, we don't want to drag you off into a dark thing. Oh, he ended up dead. He was guilty. Really? What happened? What did it? Well, it was his secret. You don't want to see that. Okay? They used to do that. They still do that if you ever have a run-in with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 3 kids in jail in Austin who were in jail because one guy confessed with a gun to his head. Oh boy. No star chambers? Not in the United States. Could never happen here. Wake up! In all criminal prosecutions, it's going to be a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. So that you can't do something here and have them drag you off somewhere else. In the Declaration of Independence, it says that the king has transported them beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. You know, the tax collector would say something here, they would take you to England and you'd stand trial. Do you have any friends in England? You have your lawyer over there? You're all by yourself. It's really hard to defend yourself halfway across, around the world. So the idea is, wherever the crime is, that's where it stays. So the government can't drag you off someplace else. That way, and the truth of the matter is that you were from there. You never really traveled far from your house. If you were a farmer, this is where you would have been. That's where the crime presumably would have committed. So this is supposedly allowing you to stay in your own county.
Throw on the bay.
Darn good question.
Yeah,
Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma, Denver.
right. Same thing. But if we don't know what the Constitution says, we can't complain.
There was another thing that they proposed before was to prove that those cops dragged that black gentleman had his car for 5 miles. Yeah.
Jasper?
Took him someplace else, didn't they, in trial?
No.
They took him out of Jasper, didn't
Oh,
Now, I think one of the things that happens is they accuse you of a federal crime. Well, if it's a federal crime, it's basically the United States. You know, anywhere in the United States is appropriate as far as they are concerned. But it's certainly not in the spirit of the Sixth Amendment, is it? And to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. This is very important. What is the nature and cause of the accusation? If you get pulled over and the police officer says, "I'm stopping you for speeding," that's the cause. If you go to court, and I'm learning this very quickly, they have cause numbers. Okay? And so that's the cause, speeding. What's the nature?
Criminal or civil?
Whether it is criminal or civil. You have to know which court you're in. You got rules of criminal procedure and rules of civil procedure. You got to know which rules they are. They've got to tell you. And to be confronted with the witnesses against you. That way I can't whisper to Mike over here and say, "Oh, you know, gosh, these guys are doing it," and have them arrest you. "Oh, really? Who said so?" "Oh, a friend of ours. It's a secret." You can't do that. You have to be able to look the person in the eye and have that person say, "Yeah, you're the one that did it," so that you know who you're fighting against. You also have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in your favor. If there were innocent bystanders on the street corner and they saw you being attacked first and you were just doing self-defense, you can force them, you can give them a subpoena, and they have to show up. Now, you know, they'd rather be out fishing, but what if you were the one? What if you're the one being accused and there were other people, and I was standing there on the street corner and go, "Hey, it's your problem, not mine." Wouldn't you want to be able to, you know, force me into court to tell what I saw? So you have compulsory process for getting witnesses. If somebody saw it, they've got to be there in court. And it also says, and to have assistance of counsel for his defense. Anybody see the word lawyer in there anywhere? If a judge tells you, you must have a lawyer. And I was fully expecting this. When you go into court, they say you cannot represent yourself. You must have a lawyer. You ask the judge, "Excuse me, Your Honor, did you take an oath of office to protect and defend the Constitution? Are you violating my Sixth Amendment right?" Certainly you wouldn't want to be guilty of perjury and treason. You have to be able to stand up for your rights. Nobody's going to give them to you. Nobody can give them to you. You need to draw that line in the sand. It's scary. It's not easy. But you've got to have the guts to do it. Or you don't have your freedom. End of story. Your choice. Seventh Amendment. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. How many people here have ever been to a common law proceeding? Anybody here have any idea where you would go for a common law proceeding? How are you supposed to have due process of law if there are no common law courts? Does this disturb anybody? I mean, we may not know what the answer is, but there sure as heck is something wrong. And it says, in suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20. That's the price of the class. If, for some reason or other, you decide you want to file a lawsuit against me because you're not happy with the course, you got ripped off. All right? You paid $20 and considerable, valuable consideration. Your time is worth something. So that puts it more than $20.